early access survival game. It's getting to be kind of a meme at this point, and with numerous games having rough patches at some point in their development cycle, some of us now begin to roll our eyes when we hear those four words. Enter Deadside, a new game fitting this description that was just released in mid-April from the developer Bad Pixel. The description on their website reads, "In Deadside, you are being immersed into a realistic gameplay in a grim setting of a post-apocalyptic world. It aims to keep the balance between the dynamic of a shooter and a hardcore survival game. The game world does not suggest fantastic elements like zombies or anomalies, but focuses the player's attention on realistic aspects of life and the ruins of a dead civilization. Open world, survival in a post-apocalyptic world. Real weapons, waterborne and above-ground transport, crafts, building, anything you need to survive and get an adrenaline rush, you can find it all here in Deadside." Basically, think Escape from Tarkov, DayZ, and the base building of Rust mashed together. Heavy PvP in these games always form a very charming community.
You're so fucking bad. Get the fuck out of my face, kiddo. We'll see you in fucking 20 minutes when you run back here.
All jokes aside though, I'm very excited to see how this game takes shape. It is still very early in development, so features are still being added and old ones are being refined. The gunplay I see already in this game seems very, very good for being so new. And that I honestly found surprising. Weapons are realistic and handle pretty much as I would hope they do. And given, again, how early it is, I'm willing to forgive most flaws. And there just aren't that many. In Deadside, you're able to switch between first and third person mode. This is actually able to be restricted by server admins, and you can be locked into one or the other. Obviously, there are some servers where you can do both. Some of the more hardcore servers I would imagine to be first person only. Just to keep some players from using that third person mode to spot check around corners before exposing themselves. A lot of people can find that frustrating. I don't honestly mind either way, but I do appreciate the variety because it's going to let the casual players separate themselves from the more diehards. Some of them, obviously, assholes are everywhere. Missions pop up regularly in this game with 4 degrees of difficulty, from easy to epic. And doing a mission pretty much guarantees 2 things. Success will lead to an excellent reward of weapons and money to take back to the safe zone for your locker, and player versus player. Some of the most intense fights I've had in this game have been over missions, even easy missions. People pretty much just see the mission pop up, they might not even care about it, they just know somebody will. And so they just go there and start shooting everyone. It is hectic, intense, and very addictive. Where the game stands right now, this is the highlight of it for me, but they have already started the process of telling us what's in store next for Deadside. Now, in late April, they just added an anti-cheat system to help with the inevitable problem any online game faces. And on the 1st of May, they released a roadmap detailing their plans for the future. And the thing that makes me the most optimistic for this game's development is they are making a focal point of bug fixing, like early on. They clearly realize if the foundation they are building for their game isn't working correctly, it's more important than smashing in new features regularly, and this I greatly appreciate. I feel too many games just rush new content out to keep the masses happy, and while it may work in the short term, it can doom a game in the long term without addressing issues that have persisted pretty much the entirety of a game's life. Deadside's new roadmap also talks about adding new guns and equipment, adding some more diversity to the small villages you see, even adding some industrial areas and underground bunkers, which sounds very exciting. One of the main places you see action in this game is a military base. You get a lot of good loot out of that area, which obviously makes it a good spot to go to get in some action. Problem is it's quite a ways out from any green zone, which is fine, but there's really no other alternative at all for consistently high value loot. And I hope one of these new areas is going to be a high value target to give out some better options when hunting for gear. What does seem to be around the corner that is for high level gear would be in-game related events. They are going to be adding obviously some new missions, which at the moment only pop up near the 2 green zones. So hopefully the new ones will start to be a bit more spread out. But also there will be some helicopter crash events and airdrops, which clearly to me seem like it's going to be high value. I just hope it's actually a random location, not just like the same 3 or 4 spots cycled through. I strangely trust the people working on this game though, because they have taken the best parts of the survival genre that I've seen so far and put them together. The team also communicated their long-term goals, which at the moment they talked about vehicles and base raids. Vehicles, in my opinion, aren't needed right away because it's doable running pretty much everywhere at the moment. It's kind of annoying, but the early access play area is 25 square kilometers. The actual game map is going to be 225 square kilometers. And then obviously vehicles are going to be a necessity. You're not going to be running around a 225 square kilometer map on foot. Hopefully, that'd be bananas. But what I am more excited about is base raiding. In their most recent post, the devs talked about how they are rolling around different ideas within the team. They seem to want to make it almost more skill based somehow with base raiding, than whoever has more explosives win. I can appreciate what they're going for. I don't really have an answer for them, but I am certainly interested in what raiding will look like from their view. And that is something else that makes me optimistic for this. Bad Pixel seems to be a very active dev team that communicates regularly. What we don't know 100% yet is how they will listen to the community. I'm not saying a successful game has to listen to the community, but it's generally a good idea to listen. I'm just happy we seem to be getting regular updates and they're explaining their focuses for the short and long term. I can definitely appreciate that. So it's obviously too early to tell, but Deadside is clearly on a good path to begin with, and I can only be optimistic for the future. I can't wait to hear what comes out next. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This is my first Deadside video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to me. It's a very easy way to support my channel. Also, liking and leaving a comment is extremely helpful as well. So try it out, give Deadside a shot, and keep an eye out for my next vid. Take care.